Next order of business is connecting the AC from my main panel to the inverter itself. My initial attempts at trying to run conduit from the inverter to the main panel were not so great. Use some 3/4 inch conduit, metal conduit. My bending capability not that great, so I decided to get some flexible 3/4 inch conduit. Quick disclaimer, I am not a professional. You should always do your own research before hopping into a project like this. If you're not comfortable wiring this stuff, you should hire a licensed electrician to do so. We will get our conduit ran from this box to that box. If you get too far into it, you will need some 8-gauge wire. You'll need white, red, black, and green. Green, white, red, black. The conduit. You'll need fittings. In this case, the plastic fittings for this flexible conduit. And then you'll need a 40 amp double pole breaker. So we'll get our conduit ran first. Like I said, I already have like a mocked up piece here. A mocked up piece of conduit. I'm gonna run this behind the wires because this is gonna be mounted to the wall. And you'll take this plastic cap off, feed this over the hose first. Then we're gonna fit this piece up into, and there's some little teeth, some ribs that you have to slide this conduit up over the tube itself and then behind these little fittings, and then make sure that's good and secure. You'll bring your plastic, actually secure it to the fitting so it will not come loose. We will get some straps and get that anchored to the wall. I actually have an access hole right here, so I'll use that. I like doing things the hard way. Got a conduit from right here in the box, travels over up into the inverter. All right, so we'll get this wire fed through our conduit. In order to do that, basically you just want to tape it all together and pull it all at once. I kind of try to do a little stagger pattern. You start with 2 of them like that. Just kind of have one clearly out in front, and then just kind of step them down. That should be adequate to pull through. In this case, I'm pushing through. There it is. All right, so I got the 4 wires ran through our conduit and into the inverter box. So basically it's just hooking up your color coordinated leads here, or wires. Don't pay attention to this one right now, so we're just paying attention to the white. The white goes to our neutral bar on the back there. Ground goes to the PE labeled bar. That's your ground bar right here. It says PE right underneath it. And then you'll look here and it says grid. And that's obviously from our panel, from the grid. That corresponds with this breaker here. That's where you're gonna tie in your black wire, red wire, and that will run through, obviously, through our conduit and up to here, which we will connect all this. I'll hit the main disconnect from the panel, and I will connect all these wires up with that. For the white, I'm just going to come around. Just do this when you're not connected. That's the best way to do it. Connect our black and our red in here. Double check if we're tight. That one was pretty loose. So you'll make sure none of that's coming out of there. All right, so I'm gonna turn the main power off. 200 amperes out. White wired in there. All right, now we got the room for this guy. Neutral, ground, and last piece to the puzzle here is the main breaker. Put on now. Okay, there it is. Two 110 poles, 40 amp breaker. Got our neutral, ground in. We'll turn our main power back on. Okay, nothing exploded. So, mind you, we still have that off. Turn this on. Our grid power on. Main power switch on. There we go. And we'll look at our grid. Wants us to turn our batteries on. Here, but turn our batteries on. Go ahead and power up the BMS on the batteries. Blinking at us, it's mad that the batteries are not hooked up, I think. Okay. Main battery on. What I believe I'll have to do now is program this to take the, because I don't have my solar panels hooked up, it is -6 degrees today and the ground is totally frozen. So I can't put my ground anchors in for the solar panel mounts. So what I have is just our grid power, hopefully supplementing our battery power, and I'll have this just as a backup generator for a little while anyway. Apparently what I'm going to have to do is go back and do a little bit of research. I've been looking through the user manual to figure out what the proper method is for hooking up AC charge modes. This user manual is not very helpful at all for a lot of things. Also note that the 40 amp breaker that I went with, I did my own math and came up with the 40 amp. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I called up Signature Solar to ask what their input on the appropriate sized breaker was, and they would not give me the specifics, so I had to do my own homework on that, answer all my other questions. So they just weren't very helpful in this, but yeah, so we will I'll figure that out and I'll post another follow-up to that, because you know, you can't just plug it in and expect it to work. That'd be way too easy. All right, anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. You guys take care. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the bottom. Thanks for watching. Take care.